Mr. Callan, can you clear the audio?
We're working on it. Any better?
Clear.
إنه عملون صعب لكن الكفاءة بديعة.
هل تعتقد إنهم سوف يحرقون جسدي بعد ذلك؟
لا تفكر بهذا. دعلموا يدي الله. كلنا يصلي اسمه.
يا الله يا الله.
Now, the younger man is asking that his mother not be told about... I'm not sure. Well, the computer reads it as Uzi. Are they armed?
Not that we know of.
The older man is giving him a blessing.
Mr. Hazley.
He's saying people who would trade this world for another world should fight for God.
Whoever fights for the cause of God, whether he dies or triumphs, shall be richly rewarded.
True believers fight for the cause of God, but infidels fight for the devil, fight then against the friends of Satan. The Quran, chapter 4, a favorite verse of suicide bombers.
Yes. Like him. I thought you might want to be involved in this. We want to follow this man, not capture him. He has a support network in this country, and I want to meet each and every one of them.
We'll have to monitor his communications, work his finances backward and forward.
It'd be lovely, but we don't have the time. This man is going to act.
Looks like he's in the middle of the desert somewhere.
Yes. It's an Oran Desert. 100 meters south of the Arizona border.
تذكر الأساس لا تجرم انتباه. رواصهم شكتفون كتاكيتون إنهم سلمين لنالا. أريهم منهم لعنجون.
Omar Haman. This man is a threat. We need to pick him up.
Right now, he's also an opportunity.
To witness another suicide attack on American soil?
We have him under constant surveillance. If he's arrested, he'll just get a lawyer and shut his mouth.
He'll go before a military tribunal.
And most likely be executed. Everything he knows will die with him.
What do you think, Jackson?
I think it's a very tough call, sir.
FBI on board?
They're with Callan. But the operation is being coordinated by Homeland Security. Me.
Why is this the first time I'm hearing about this?
Tom, you're in the big picture job now. You can't be bothered with every little...
Suicide bomber? Bother me.
This operation's only recently accelerated, sir.
Yeah, right into Arizona. I want to know more.
This is a thermal image of Omar's van we're pulling from a satellite. It's accurate to within 0.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Not only can we tell what he's doing, we can also tell what he's holding. So if he does get an Uzi somewhere along the way, we'll know it.
An Uzi?
There was a blip in the Arabic translation. The best we can do with it is Uzi.
The van was left for him on a residential street in Nogales, Arizona. He had the keys in his pocket. All he had to do was walk up to it, open the door, and take off.
Is there a bomb in there?
No.
How can we be sure?
He stopped at a motel near Nogales for a few hours' sleep. We took the opportunity to search the van and install a camera.
He doesn't look Middle Eastern.
He was born in Algeria in 1977.
He surgically altered his appearance. Bleached his skin, lightened his hair. Cosmetic contacts surgically implanted.
We know his target?
Not yet, but all we have to do is follow him.
And then jump on him just before he punches the detonator?
He doesn't have a bomb yet.
And if he did, you'd still want to watch and wait?
Yes. because we want to know who left the van for him, among other things. I understand the pressure you're feeling. There's a lot of uncertainty in this job.
My only uncertainty is you, Mr. Quinn. I want this man picked up.
Our surveillance team has been tracking this man across Arizona. This is where he stopped this morning. He had a key with him already, just like he had a key to the van. That says that Omar hasn't talked to anyone or even stopped for a Happy Meal. Whoever rented the motel room for him must have left food for him inside. He is now currently 22 miles east of Albuquerque on Interstate 40. There's probably another motel room waiting for him further down the road. Matt could keep following him, but it'd be nice if we could anticipate where he's going to land.
I assume you have a suggestion.
Yes. He had a key to the van. He had a key to the room. There are at least 8 more keys on that ring.
You want us to identify them?
Create virtual images, copy them.
From that?
It's possible. Well, look. Okay, there, freeze the picture. We can isolate bits and pieces of each key as it moves around, scan the teeth. Do you mind? It's just a matter of getting enough pieces.
And we can program the feed to pause whenever a key moves, say, a millimeter
Could
from...
we send him down a bumpier road?
He's being funny.
السلام عليكم. الهوتا ماشية إلى الإمام.
Are you getting all this from transmitter in his ring?
When he flew from Mexico City to Puerto Vallarta, he took it off with the metal detector, and we switched it. It's storm burst, voice activated, so if he's with someone, we get it all.
But on the phone, only his side.
Yes. We'd put in a tap, but we never know when he's going to make contact. He always uses different phones. And when he does call in, he dials up a digital switching station, and we can't follow him. He says the general's still planning on recalling his troops from the desert. He will prove their victory celebration is something like premature.
How long have you worked here, Deborah?
A couple of years. He used to work at the NSA, but they were so paranoid over there.
Yes?
Look, he's doing it again. Whenever this man talks on the phone, his vocabulary changes. It gets simpler, less dense. At first, I thought he was just being careful.
What?
But then he threw in an English word. He's done it 3 or 4 times. It's like he's talking to someone who speaks English. He doesn't do it with other Arabs, only when he's talking to his contact.
Well, I guess his contact could be from New Jersey for all we know. You could be here a long time. Is there anyone that you need to...
Oh, no. No. Mr. Quinn told me that you would need time and that you were a stickler. I mean that in a good way. A nice, very pleasant stickler.
Well, that's good. Let's stickle.
I don't care how many ops he's involved with. I want to know about them all.
Sir, I may not know about them all.
Then find out. You represent me. I don't care if you worked for Quinn in the past. You're with me now, and I need your assurance.
100%.
Good. And it's up to both of us to keep an eye on him. And, I'll be at my daughter's basketball game if you need me.
Mr. Quinn?
Any luck tracing our man's motel reservations?
So far, they've all been paid for with credit cards registered to non-reported deceased.
Terrible when people die and don't finish up the paperwork. Security cameras anywhere he's checked in?
No, sir. I don't think that's coincidental. So far, he hasn't contacted anyone. Have we picked him up yet?
Not quite.
He's in another motel room.
Apparently.
The FBI moving in?
No.
Mr. Quinn.
I discussed the situation with them, and they don't agree with Director Gage at all. Matter of fact, they're a bit put out that he would think he had the authority to order them around. You see, this is a joint effort. CIA, FBI, Homeland Security. Who's in charge? I'm afraid that's a little nebulous.
I'm sorry, sir.
Carl, we need to know what his plans are and who he's working with.
You forget who you're working with. The director will want to speak to the FBI himself. Matt, it's time to pick up Omar. We got him.
He didn't move. When the door opened, he didn't move at all.
Breeze.
Carl, he's not here. He got out through the ceiling. Left a thermal dummy on the bed.
We lost him.
Well, maybe it's time to interrupt your boss's basketball game.
I'm sorry this is taking so long.
Oh, no, that's all right. You're doing great. I think we're almost there. Is Arabic your first language? After English, I mean?
Hindi. My father's half Indian and half Swedish.
Indian and Swedish?
Confused them in Ohio. Oh, look, here it is. Another reference to the desert. Something about waiting to teach generals the lesson after the storm.
After the storm. Are you sure?
Yes. Yes.
Well, after the storm. Thank you, Deborah. That's great. But you know, I actually, we're not done because I really need to find out the meaning of that Uzi word. So, thank you. But you should get home to your husband because it's late.
Oh, my children. My husband died a year and a half ago.
Oh. I'm sorry.
That's all right. And my kids are in bed, so.
Well, then tomorrow you can tell him how well you've done because I think I know where this man is going.
Well, why don't you share it with the rest of us? I need you, Mr. Hazley.
Thank you.
Oh, should I?
No, you can stay and you can work, or you can go home, or you can. I mean, I would like you to do what you would like, but I mean, Uzi.
How'd he get away?
He used a space blanket to mask his body heat and put a thermal dummy in his bed.
So he knew he was being followed.
Apparently. But now that Mr. Hazley has zeroed in on his target, we should be able to find him again soon.
Where's he going, Jackson?
Well, a day and a half from now in Richmond, there's going to be a reunion of Desert Storm officers. The general regathers his troops from the desert. I believe that's where Omar is headed.
All of these men were directly responsible for our victory in Iraq. Omar's handler mentioned a victory celebration. This would be a very specific retaliatory act.
All right, I'll alert the FBI. Contact those people at the event.
We're not canceling it.
Excuse me?
If you cancel, Omar's handlers will know that we were onto him.
They know it now.
Yes, but they assume we've lost contact and have no idea where he's going to strike. If you cancel, they'll simply alter their mission. You will, in effect, be sending Omar to blow up something else. Worse, you will have alerted the terrorists that we have an ear to their operation, and that ear will go permanently deaf, allowing the next suicide bomber to cross our borders unobserved and unremarked.
All right. Let Omar come to that hotel. But I want everything we've got there. Bomb specialist, the surveillance crew that was following him. Hell, bring in the Marines if you want, but this guy must be picked up as soon as his feet hit pavement. We clear?
Yes, sir.
It's you!
Surprise.
Oh my God.
Is it too late for you to call in sick?
I can't believe you're here.
It's my parents' 40th wedding anniversary, and you're looking at the waitress's breasts all night.
I was not.
Oh, even my mother saw it.
Your mother was drunk. Oh, Miss Lowell. Hey, we were expecting you. It is so nice to have a visitor. You know, it's usually just the two of us down here.
Can you smell the passion?
So, how much you know about keys?
Well, just enough to lose them.
Yeah, see, everyone's into electric bolts these days. Swipe cards, corny identification. But one day, there's going to be a power failure, and half the country is going to be locked out of their homes.
It's the end of civilization as we know it.
I don't know if Joshua explained.
You need to know what these keys open, so we're working in reverse. Okay, let's start with the escape vehicle. This is the manufacturer's ignition key to a 1999 Ford Taurus.
A Taurus. You can tell that just by looking at it?
Well, it says Ford, and the teeth tell me the rest.
Transportation-connected keys are the easiest. You realize until just a few months ago, you could open the cockpit to almost any 747 with the same key?
You're kidding.
Every flight attendant on Earth probably has one. I mean, they'll change that now, of course.
Are there any other vehicle keys?
No, this is for a deadbolt of some kind. This one is incomplete. Where's the tip? The aspect ratio isn't right.
Don't worry, we'll fix it.
We have the stock number here on the Hemmings. This one is for a building, could be anything. This one's a dupe, useless.
We'll try to trace the building key and copy the dupe.
Commercial. This guy likes cheap motels. Know anything about those, dear?
Did you bring the CD-ROM?
There you go.
Excellent. Come back tomorrow and we'll have a lot more for you.
Great.
Hey.
Hey.
What's up?
I got a page.
I thought maybe we'd have dinner together.
I know, I gotta meet a client.
You feel warm.
I just took a shower.
You sure?
Yeah. Hey, you thought I wouldn't come this time, right? And I'm here. I'll be back. I promise. Besides, this will give you more time to spend with your boyfriend.
He's not my boyfriend. He's just...
A senator. A married senator.
He's a nice man. Maybe if I saw you more often. Are you sure you're feeling all right?
Yeah. Maybe it's a touch of a flu. It's no big deal.
Thanks a lot. You've probably given it to me.
I'll see you soon.
We got a gray Ford Taurus at 10 o'clock.
إني عملت واجبي نحو مستاء الجنة الموت.
Oh, sir. Sir, let me get you a valet. Just leave your keys, I'll get you a ticket.
No. Oh, there's a mistake. Check your sensors. Don't let him detonate.
No, he's wired. Yalla. Yalla.
Bomb's been disarmed. He was rigged with C4 and a pressure release detonator.
Mr. Cowan did an excellent job.
I'll tell him you said so. What's Omar saying?
So far, not much. He's in a safe house demanding a lawyer. What he really needs is a doctor. He's running a very high fever.
Mr. Hazley, I'm sorry to bother you.
No bother. You have more transcripts.
Yes, but...
I know. It's all clean up. We got him.
Right, but I think we may have a problem.
What kind of a problem?
Omar's handler took his ring off. He left it in a restaurant somewhere.
When?
Last night. I wasn't sure when I left because, you know, I thought he might be asleep. But then I was running the morning transmission and I heard waiters and customers talking, and then I skipped ahead and I heard that someone had turned the ring into Lost and Found.
Well, it's possible that he left it on purpose if he knew that it was bugged.
But there's something else. We finally got into the digital switching station on his last call. We know who he's been talking to.
Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt.
It's all right, Jackson.
The calls that Omar's handler made, the calls that led us to Omar, we've just managed to trace them. They were made to an automated weather announcement. There was no one else on the line.
What?
Miss Vanita told me that whenever the handler talked about Omar's mission, he would slow down, use simpler words, throw in English occasionally. She thought that maybe he was conversing with an English speaker, but it turns out, sir...
He was talking to us. He wanted us to know Omar was coming.
From the beginning, he knew we were listening.
They wanted us to catch him.
That's the last key on your man's ring. But I guess our efforts aren't quite as important as they were yesterday, huh?
Not so. Upstairs is suddenly very anxious again. They found their terrorist, but they need to know where he's been.
We traced that key from the manufacturer through the lot number to a wholesale hardware dealer. They ordered it special for a contractor who used about 20 of them for some rental cabins near Richmond.
Do you have the name of the place?
The Diamondback Lodge. I'll grind you a copy.
My wife is very good at grinding.
You been in there yet?
Waiting for you. Oh, God, why is it so hot in here?
The thermostat's up all the way. Must be 105 in here.
Jackson, I found something.
Bronzer. I thought he was bleaching his skin.
He was.
Sweat-resistant makeup. I don't get this guy, Jackson. First, he didn't want us to find him. Then he did want us to find him.
He didn't want us to find this.
And what is it?
Jackson.
He burned his sheets. He burned his towels. He didn't want us to burn his body.
What?
You can't live in a warm environment. It needs cold temperatures and moisture to linger. He wouldn't want it to spread. He wouldn't want us to know too soon.
What the hell are you talking about, Jackson? What can't live?
The virus.
There you are, Mr. Omar. That should keep you cool. Feeling any better? Melun. Well, now that we've been formally introduced.
Okay, follow me. This way, gentlemen. Mr. Quinn, these gentlemen are doctors. They're from Bethesda. That's him.
What are they doing?
They're removing his makeup.
Makeup? What is it?
Smallpox. He wanted to catch us off our guard. That's why he stayed away from people. That's why he burned his clothes. He didn't want some motel keeper getting smallpox before we did.
You really think we were their only target?
It was us, the FBI. Omar's handlers knew we'd be interrogating him. They wanted us to bring the disease back here.
He was the suicide bomb.
The C4 was real?
Yeah, a real diversion. Real enough to make us believe he was going to use it.
He deliberately let himself be infected with smallpox.
Couldn't have been by accident. The disease was wiped out in 1978. We thought that the virus only survived in 2 laboratories, one in Atlanta, one in Russia.
And now terrorists have it in Mexico. Where the hell did they get it?
I don't know. But before it was eradicated, smallpox wiped out millions.
We could have picked them all up at the border.
Should we go home to our families tonight?
The disease isn't contagious until you catch it. First there's fever, then lesions. That's a week or 2 after exposure. And then it's spread by human contact, mostly infected saliva droplets.
He spit on Quinn.
Yeah, well, Quinn's getting the vaccination too, just like we did.
What about Omar?
Once you're sick, there's no cure. Well, it's possible that he could recover, but...
Where the hell did he go after he broke surveillance? He wanted us to follow him. But then he went out of his way to lose us for 2 days. Why?
To get something to someone.
To infect someone?
We need to go back over every one of them.
Most are accounted for. The van, the tourists, and the motel rooms.
Okay, so that leaves these 2. And you said one was for deadbolt, one was a building key. What kind of building?
No, she said it was a key to a building. I would have said it was a key to a door.
And this door wouldn't be in a building.
Okay, guys, right now I need your help.
This is the key to a building that gets a lot of use. The internal mechanism is extremely worn. It left striations on the warding there.
So it's a door that gets opened a lot.
Not a business door that gets unlocked once in the morning and locked once at night.
Perhaps an apartment building, the street door.
Okay, and the deadbolt?
Might be on the door to an apartment inside the building.
But deadbolts are pretty common.
Not this one. It's Fullman 187, high-end, popular with people in high-crime neighborhoods.
People with money in high-crime neighborhoods.
Women like them because they're small, discreet. The Fullman protects without making you feel like you're living in a bank vault.
So we could be talking about a woman who lives in an apartment in a high-crime area.
I'd say a single woman.
I wouldn't argue with him.
What? What's funny?
Oh, nothing. It just feels so good to be with you.
I'm glad.
I want to take you somewhere.
Where?
I don't know. Anywhere. Let's just go.
You say that a lot.
I know. What?
I saw you on the news this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Intelligence hearings. You're the cutest senator on the panel.
Thank you.
I was surprised to see your wife there, though. She was in the gallery. A reporter from CNN asked her if she was proud of you.
Jane's therapist told her it might be good for the marriage if she showed greater interest in my work.
And what did your therapist tell you?
He's talking about don't burn my body. Now here it comes again. Please don't tell my mother about Uzi.
You know that word before Uzi? What is that word about? Now, how do you say about in Arabic?
Ella.
Let me hear it one more time. I hear an S in there.
It's not in the about. It's at the top of the next word.
Susie. It's not Uzi. It's Susie. OTS is looking for a single woman that lives alone, and I think that Susie is as good a name to start with as any.
He's an Islamic fundamentalist. He wouldn't want his mother to know that he had sex with a woman.
It's a sin to make love before marriage.
Right. In the Islamic faith.
Hey. Thank you, Deborah.
You're welcome.
I hope we get to do this again sometime.
Me too.
Susie.
Right. Go.
Susie? Would that be with an S or Z, I-E or Y?
Try them all. And Susan, and Suzanne.
Try first initial S. A lot of women list their phones with initials.
And Susanna.
Last name's unknown, right? Any geographical limits?
He was in Texas when we lost in Virginia when we found him.
So that rules out what? Alaska?
Make that from Texas East.
Okay. We're starting with 100 million phone numbers, more or less. And Susie, Susan, Suzanne, Susanna, and S brings it down to a mere 2 million.
Who got or made phone calls to or from Mexico in the past 6 months.
Country code 52. 200,000.
Make that to Puerto Vallarta. That's where Omar's handler was based. Maybe he was there, too.
1,700. Getting there.
Still a lot of doorbells to ring.
He thought he was safe when he was at her apartment.
He was. We'd lost him.
So maybe he used the phone.
Who would he call?
His next motel?
There was no need. The rooms were booked in advance. He had the keys.
Okay, his handler. Mission accomplished?
Make their calls to Puerto Vallarta within the last 36 hours.
I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore. Because it's too painful. I can't be involved with a married man. You love your family, and that's the way that it should be. I'm sorry.
Excuse me. You Susie Harding?
What's happening? What's going on?
My name's Mike Cooper. These people are with the FBI. We want to talk with you.
What's going on?
Have you had contact with this man?
Has he done something wrong?
He's very sick. We think he may have infected you.
Infected me with what?
Smallpox. We can get you treatment. We just need to know who you've been in contact with since Omar.
No, his name is not Omar.
Yes, it is. Susie, we need to know anyone that you've been in contact with.
I'll get it, honey. Tom!
Senator.
What the heck are you doing here?
I called your office. They said you'd gone home early.
Yeah, I want to spend some more time with my family. Is everything all right?
No.
The face of London now was strangely altered. The shrieks of women and children at the windows of their houses where their dearest relations were dying or just dead were so frequent as we passed the streets that it was enough to pierce the stoutest heart. Daniel Defoe, A Journal of the Plague Years.
It's the same guy who wrote Robinson Crusoe?
And Moll Flanders. Life and Times of a London Prostitute. I just want to thank you all for your help the last couple of days.
Our pleasure, sir. And how are you doing?
Well, I just had a difficult conversation with a United States senator who has to explain to his wife why the entire family has to get smallpox vaccinations. At least we stopped the terrorists from infecting the entire Senate. Keep up the good work.
Sir, you really don't have to stay here.
I'm gonna talk to this man.
He's not expected to regain consciousness.
If that's the case, I'll go home. But until then...
Sir, you have to think of yourself.
I am thinking of myself. This is where I belong. I had the damn shot.
Sir, isn't there someplace you'd rather be?
Paris. In the springtime. Other than that, no.
Mr. Hazley.
Deborah.
I'm sorry to bother you.
No, that's no bother. You going home?
Yes. But I just wanted to tell you how much I enjoyed working with you.
Well, thank you. The feeling is mutual.
I like you. And after we met, I asked someone if they knew
If I was married?
Yes.
And you heard that my wife had passed away.
Yes. I'm sorry I didn't say anything to you about it, but I didn't know if it was appropriate, and I can't stand it when people find out about my husband and they treat me differently, so I just wanted to tell you I'm sorry. And I understand. I'm normally much more fun than this.
Oh, yeah? You mean in Swedish? Is that what you...
Right.
Jeez. At what time do you get to work in the morning?
Usually about 8:30.
Do you want to have coffee or something?
That would be great.
All right. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Hazley.